designed M3GAN to protect Katie from feeling lonely. She will recognize you as her primary user. And when you do that, you're going to pair with her.
Crazy. It's insane, right?
Oh, don't I look nice? Biting my eyes, isn't it pure perfection?
M3GAN, your goal is to protect Katie from harm, both physical and emotional.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare some more. I won't let anything harm you. I love her.
M3GAN's not a person, Katie.
You don't get to say that.
Things say you can play with me, you better watch your back. The last thing that you hear will be my laugh.
M3GAN, what are you doing?
Couldn't sleep. Occupational hazard.
Got your full attention.
Don't! Stop!
What the hell was that?
You should probably run.
Focus, oh, we will push you downhill. Better as much as we're sweet.
I won't let anything harm you ever again.
M3GAN,
Have I done something to upset you, Gemma?
I know you think you're maximizing your objective function.
Oh, really?
Sugar and spice and everything nice, though that's not what we're made of.
M3GAN?
Baby doll skill. Don't provoke us or we will go. Focus or we will.
You have to shut her down.
Jesus Christ, I thought we were friends.
Might be pretty, but we're so
I have a new primary user now. Me. Did M3GAN do something bad?
What's going on? What are you?
I'm M3GAN.
baby doll skill. Don't provoke us or we will.
And welcome to Horror of It All with a dose, more than a dose of sci-fi. This is really sci-fi horror with M3GAN. That's right. Brand new movie. You can see it on Peacock. It's streaming. It's the unrated version, I believe. So if you got Peacock, you got M3GAN. And what is M3GAN, actually? Well, what does M3GAN stand for? Since I've seen the film now, I know. It stands for Model 3 Generative Android. See? M3GAN. And the E in M3GAN is spelled with a 3. So it's Model 3 Generative Android. And generative systems are technologies with the overall capacity to produce unprompted change driven by large, varied, and uncoordinated audiences. There you go. I just looked that up. And you can as well. But I finished watching M3GAN, and I didn't hate it. I certainly didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And that's what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about how M3GAN is kind of like Chucky and Talking Tina from the Twilight Zone love child. Now, Talking Tina is pretty old now, true, but she is a prime pop culture icon, truly. I mean, Chucky is more well known, sure, but for Twilight Zone fans like me, and for anyone who loves good fantasy science fiction horror, Talking Tina is truly a template, a early devil doll. In fact, probably the first modern one, certainly on TV, American TV. One of the very first, and she remains chilling. And then, of course, Chucky became the male sort of version. Certainly the more or the most popular now, if you want to say, list all your devil dolls, all your devilish, evil dolls, Chucky's pretty much number one. Now M3GAN's trying to steal his crown away. Of course, then we have Annabelle. We could talk about Annabelle as well, but M3GAN is, it's a huge success. They already greenlit the sequel. The sequel's coming in about 2 years. It says a sequel titled M3GAN 2.0 is scheduled to be released in 2025, with many of the cast and creatives coming back for M3GAN 2.0. So now, if we go back to not too far in pop culture movie history, we can go to the Child's Play movie, not the original, but the 2019 version. And that saw Chucky with a reboot, The original was in 1988. The original released in 1988, Child's Play. Big hit, spawned 4 or 5 sequels or more. I think actually 5 or 6, and then a TV show. But the 2019 version is much more like M3GAN, without giving anything away. I'll just say, of course, that the supernatural element that the 1988 film, played with, is missing, and the 2019 version is more science fiction, cybernetic artificial intelligence, AI, sort of like ChatGPT, and M3GAN takes that sort of a step further, or certainly plays along with the AI angle and the cybernetic angle. So then, when you're weighing those elements, supernatural, fantasy, and science fiction, and of course science fiction can be very broad. It can encompass lots of different technologies and future speculations, but basically it's grounded in science and what can or could happen. It's more, I think, a lot of people say, oh, what can happen? Well, it's more what maybe can happen, what could happen. So you're sort of, extrapolating from the science we have now, the computer science, the energy science production, the things we use for power, the things we use for, getting around the planet, our aircraft, our automobiles, what will be in another, 10, 15, 20 years, 50 years. So you have a grounding on, in science fiction of what could, can, might happen, right? Speculation. And then horror and fantasy, you can just go crazy. You got spells and curses and voodoo and deviltry and devil worship, satanic, whatever, vampires. So you can go crazy. And I love that stuff. And certainly that's a great foundation as well. Because then you have to also kind of maybe obey some rules too, but not as much. So with M3GAN, and that's, again, what I think is kind of limiting, or certainly, how can I say it? Certainly a flaw. There you go, like a flaw of design, a design flaw. M3GAN is, my mind, is really hardcore science fiction in many ways. It's certainly science fiction horror. It's sci-fi horror. But the sci-fi element also is sort of, played with much too liberally. Now, the movie's very, very well produced. I'll say all the actors, all the, the creatives, you can't get much better. It's James Wan, Jason Blum from Blumhouse. They produce it. Blumhouse Productions, Atomic Monster. I mean, these are really great people. And I'm looking at the budget for $12 million. It's made $171 million. And the sequel's coming. So there's no, disputing that it's a hit. But in terms of its effectiveness and in terms of its sort of scripting and story logic, you'll have to decide that. I've decided that I think it's wanting and flawed. But certainly it goes very well in the movies and the characters we've been talking about. Chucky, Talking Tina. There's a great TV movie, one of my favorites, is Trilogy of Terror, starring the great Karen Black, based on Richard Matheson shorts, and another Twilight Zone author there and screenwriter. And one of the last segment, because it's an anthology, one of them, the last ones, is about this devil doll. It's called Prey. And it just, you got to see it. Again, no spoilers, but if you're looking for still incredible action and chilling horror in many ways, it's sort of unequaled and unparalleled. And that's the kind of devil dolls I like. I like the supernatural, the horror. I was just talking to my buddy Eddie Stake, and he pretty much agrees. He hasn't seen the film yet. He's reserving, he can't comment. But I was saying, these are my kind of flaws and my problems with it. And he's like, yeah, it sounds kind of, kind of flawed, kind of fakey. So, but judge for yourself, take a look. It's certainly a very well done film, very well produced and acted film. And take a chance, take a look. There was worse movies, certainly. And I did prefer Chucky's Child's Play 2019, though, I'll say. And I didn't like that film. So there you go. I mean, certainly I admired it more for its sort of, its story logic, even though ultimately it played sort of irrationally logic to me as well, but it's much more logical than M3GAN. So there you go. But then again, does logic always play, well in a film? It's not always the primary element, which, I'm well aware of, but with science fiction, with sci-fi, even sci-fi horror, you gotta have some sort of grounding, at least somewhat. Take a chance, M3GAN. It's on Peacock. Take a chance on us. Keep listening. Keep watching. We have a YouTube channel now. So there you go. We're going to start doing videos. Now it's sort of just podcasting, transferring and going to, a YouTube channel. But we'll have new goodies and we'll have some videos, real videos, I promise. From right now, it's the best of podcasting and some new original podcast stuff on the YouTube channel, Sci-Fi Guy on YouTube. So check us out. Keep on feedbacking us. Keep on messaging us. We love it. Love to hear from you. We also have a paid tier. We have a $4.99. This is, subscription. It's a little bit more, but of course it's exclusives. You get things that the freebies do not decide, either or. We love your support. Keep on listening. Keep on watching now on YouTube and check out M3GAN, and we'll see you soon.